Hi, how's everybody doing this morning? I first like to say, happy holidays, happy 4th of July, and I know most everybody probably is gonna get their day set to go out and have fun and enjoy the holiday today. Um, I was just sitting here and thinking about a few things. I was on a podcast last night, and it was a very interesting podcast, and a couple questions arose while I was on that podcast, and it was amazing that we were discussing different players and different teams and who was close and who was so far away from actually competing for an NBA championship, and I thought to myself, from the aspect of guys that really, really want to win, I started thinking about that, and when I started thinking about that, I started going back on the teams that basically playoff teams, and I think there are some teams in the playoffs, and they go to the playoffs because they're in the playoffs, but um, to have the gut, to have the to put the things in place, to put your mind in the right place in order to win. Um, I kind of went down the line and said, who do I think is a person that, or a group of guys that really, really looks like they're out there to win the basketball game, at whatever cost. And I think that's the essence of winning, a group coming together saying that, uh, I want to win. And when I say that, certain players go outside their norm in order to win the basketball game. And I don't know how many guys are willing to do that. When I look at, um, the eventual NBA champions, Golden State Warriors, when I look at every one of those individuals, basically, starting with like Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson could actually go to a team and be number one player. You could run an offense through Klay Thompson. Uh, he shows not only the offensive ability, but on the defensive end, you can see how committed he is to doing whatever it takes, his job in order to win, and even uh, past that, he'll do whatever it takes past that. And I was like, how many teams have players like that? When I look at Golden State, I got to take my hat off to Steph Curry. Steph Curry, he actually changed his game a little bit. Excuse me. He actually changed his game a little bit in order to accommodate Kevin Durant. And I think Kevin Durant actually somewhat changed his game in order to fit in with the Golden State team. Even though the fit was kind of smooth, it was very smooth, and it usually doesn't go that smooth. Sometimes it does. I think mine in Detroit went extremely smooth, um, but that takes a lot. I look at that. I look at the Boston Celtics, their team. I think that coach is an incredible coach. I think he has them in the right mindset on how to really go out and play the game the way it should be played and extend yourself to a total ball player. I look at the kid Smart. He leaves it all on the floor all the time. I look at the young kid, the rookie. He was part of Rookie of the Year. Forgive me. Uh, um, he he plays it the right way. When you see him play, you can tell he's playing not for himself to win games. He's not saying that I got to score a bucket to win games. That means I got to set a good screen. That means I got to cut hard. That means I got to get on the break. I got to be in the right place, helping on defense. And when you look at players like that and teams like that, it kind of differentiates them from other teams. I'm not going to call out other teams, but when I look at the playoff teams, when I look at the Milwaukee team, who's a young and upstart team, when I look at them, um, I see just the kickstart of guys trying to do that. But then in some instances, I see um, scenarios where guys are trying to make a name for themselves, where they're just really trying to make sure they do well in order to, do a new contract or things like that. And that's just my perception of it. I could be wrong, but that's just my perception of it. Then when you look at some of the teams that are not that good, it looks like they totally lean over to, they're playing basketball, they're moving, but have they committed to each other? Have they committed to play? I look at the Houston Rockets. When I look at Chris Paul, there's a guy that's on top of my list for, it doesn't care what it is. Chris Paul plays to win basketball games. You can see it in him. When you talk about, well, the Lakers just traded for Rajon Rondo. He's gotten, really a bad a rep, which I don't think he's a bad guy at all. He's gotten a bad rep. But when I look behind all that bad rep, is that when he played for Boston, this guy did whatever it took. He was a somewhat leader on the team. You never heard anything really negative about him until they started playing. But I think that was all because of his stance and verbal outbreaks to win games. I don't think it was demonstrative or anything like that. It was just to win games, and that's kind of a part of building a winning team that I don't think a lot of teams look at. They look at the talent. They look at to say, okay, well, he can play. He averaged 15, he averaged 20, but that little intangible, that little thing that you don't put a measuring stick, like I mentioned, I think it's Marcus Smart, that plays for Boston. He does things that don't show up on the score card. It doesn't show up, but they're big to your team. And when you're building a championship team, a little of that needs to be in every player. I wasn't a defensive player. I played decent defense, but I knew that in order to really help and contribute to this basketball team, there are some things I had to be committed to on the defensive end and get better at in order for us to win. And when I look at teams that are trying to get there, I kind of question the total commitment to get there, meaning that I know you can score, but can you get better at defense? Can you rebound a little bit more? Can you get quicker at rotations? When you get to a point where that's contagious on a team, you kind of move to the next level, and that commitment is not easy. It's not easy because you're going outside of your norm. Like if you're just a scorer or you're just a shooter, you kind of say, well, that's what I am supposed to do and to win for this team. No, yeah, that is what you're supposed to do, but you're supposed to get better at other things, and that's what takes a team from one level to the next level. One team I really am really impressed at on the way they played was the Utah Jazz. The Utah Jazz, that the coach over there, I want to take my hat totally off to him. I think that he's done a marvelous job with the Jazz, and you could see the commitment with them. When you started the series with the Rockets, I think before the series started, nobody thought that this team would ever be in the position they was in. They were in a position to really upset Houston. They were in their position, but when you look at the entire team, look at the commitment they had. I mean, really, really look at the commitment they had. They had a commitment to go out there and really lay it all on the line and execute no matter what it was, no matter who it was, no matter what was going on. And that's the kind of mindset that you want in every team. And when you guys are looking at your favorite team and you're looking at all of that, it's kind of hard to pick out. I can pick it out because, I've been there. I know what to look for. And try to look for that. You know, how committed are these guys? You know, and when they get that commitment, things change. Things change their team. You can see their whole attitude change. You know, when you look at the way they play, and I keep using Boston. When you look at the way Boston played, they lost their best player. They lost their best two players, and here they go. And eventually, Cleveland ended up playing in the finals. And here they go without those two players. They get in it. They get to it. You know, and like, wow. You know, no one expected that. But I think it falls back on the fact that look at how committed these guys were to each other and to playing the game the right way and leaving it all on the line, you know. And I really, I think to bring fans back in the NBA, you know, for coaches and franchises, you know, I think you got to set that. You got to establish that identity as that's how we're going to go at it, you know, and that starts from, you know, the president all the way down when you're recruiting or not recruiting, but when you're getting ready to talk about signing a guy, that's an important piece. The talent is an important piece, but you have to set that foundation so that when players come in and you have a practice, that's the way it looks. You know, that's how it's going. When I was at the Pistons, you know, we didn't practice an awful long time, but, you know, for that hour or whatever we practiced for, it was so intense. I mean, we went to full tilt, 100%, top of the hill, and that was a consistent thing every day. When we got in there, no one allowed anyone to come in and not play at that level. And when you play at that level every day, every night, every day, every night, you establish a bar for yourself where that's just expected. And I think a lot of teams only have pockets. To me, it only looks like only have pockets of players that, you know, want to go beyond what they're supposed to do to the next level. And I keep using Klay Thompson. You know, this guy doesn't say much. He doesn't get a lot of accolades. But if you took him off of that team, it would be a big gap, an extremely big gap, because he always defends the best player on the other team. He's expected to score. He rebounds. He's one of the best help defenders on their team, you know. And when you see a guy like that, that's amazing. Their makeup is beautiful, the way they play. I mean, you look at Andre Iguodala, you know, he probably would go start anywhere else in the country. I mean, in the NBA, probably, you know, really close. You look at the kid Livingston. Livingston comes off the bench, and the way he goes about his business, you can see it's at one level, and it's about everybody doing what they're supposed to do and winning the game. And you know, I just challenge all you guys that are, you know, watching this to, you know, your favorite team. Look at it from that way. Don't look at, okay, my scorer is scoring, but what else is he doing? You know, did you see him get in there for the loose ball, dive for the loose ball? Did you see him rotate? Did you see him go to the boards hard? Have you ever seen that? You know, because you're a shooter, I don't care. You got a rebound. Isaiah would come in there and rebound. Joe Dumars, even though they were guards, they came in to get rebounds, you know. That question, you know, kind of stuck with me last night, the fact that who is committed to do that? When I look at the Thunder, when you say with Carmelo and George and Westbrook, are they committed to do the other little things? Are they committed to get themselves physically and mentally ready to play? Are they ready to do that? You know, because I like those guys, but I don't know, as a unit, are they committed to do that? Are they committed to take the constructive criticism of another player and not just take it, but actually apply it. You know, I think, I don't know if I told you guys this, is that a little story about Isaiah and myself. I don't know who we were playing. We were playing in a game, and geez, Isaiah was about 2 for 16, and I leaned over and said, "Hey, look, you got to stop shooting. It's not your day today. Stop shooting, and make sure that somebody gets the ball that's that's hot or that's open." And the way we were built, Isaiah didn't take that the wrong way. He turned around and he said, "Yeah, I just can't." He said, "Okay, I got it. Joe's hot. I'm gonna swing it." I said, "Yeah, I'll swing it and then wait for one to come back to you." Lane Beer got on me and said, "Mark, look, we're boxing out. You can't let your man get to the boards." I didn't take that in a defensive manner. I took it as you know what? That's the part of the job that I got to do. I got to commit to that and got to make sure that that's happening. And when you get a group that can constructively talk to each other about things and not take it the wrong way and then apply it, that's some of the formula that gets you to the next level, And I just don't know of how many teams that I see committed to doing that. I don't know how many teams I see in the NBA. Matter of fact, I think they play. I can't say they don't play hard, but there are very few that are committed to the whatever zone. That's kind of what I call it. Whatever it takes. I'm going to do whatever it takes. I know I'm a scorer. I know if I don't get my shots up today, I still got to be in the game. When you get that boils into a championship team. And like I say, after that interview last night, it just had me thinking about that. And I'm just saying to all you guys who are listening and who are viewing this, and you have your favorite team. I know it's hard to pick out, but try to pick that out. Because you're important. I always follow everybody that's watching me. They're important. They're entitled to me trying to be the best that I can be and working hard at what I do, and try to do that. Last thing, I had a question that they asked me yesterday about the player movement and about players going and hopping to new teams. Everything evolves. I think everything evolves, and and it's going to change. There's no way it's not going to be the same. We're not driving Studebakers anymore. We have aircraft now that are A380s that's as big as a home. Have showers and spiral staircases. So things are going to change. But what I really don't like the question is that they say the players have too much power. I don't really look at it like that. I look at it as like any other corporation, meaning that, there's always a talent search. When you talk about Google, when you talk about Facebook, they're always out for improving their talent base. And when they can improve their talent base, the bottom line goes up. They create, better product. They create more product that people want to see. And I think it's just like that on the basketball court, meaning that, it's not a factor of saying they have too much power. It's the fact that the talent base determines what you can and can't do. And now you have bidders for your talent. So I don't know. I don't look at it as being the players have too much control. It's all about the business side of basketball that, if I'm an owner of a team and I look at, what we did last year, I look at where we can go, I look at the value of my team, I look at, the end result, teams are worth billions of dollars now. And that has all to do with the collection of talent. Like some of the major corporations get, they go out and pay for the best talent because they think that best talent can, you know, end up on the bottom line or end up creating a total value to their company, you know. And looking at that, who really has control? That's not control. That's just saying that I am honing my skills, whether it's writing code or making sure that, you know, I'm the best defender in the NBA, or I'm the best point guard in the NBA, or I'm the best. And now there's a bid for my talent to bring that particular company to another level, which has increased the value. Um, at the end result, the owners have the power. The players just are increasing their value and make sure that it's at a point where they can get the maximum value for their talent. That's just my opinion on it. There might be some different things, but there it is. Just some thoughts. Hey, appreciate you. Have a great holiday, and I'll see you soon. Thanks, guys.